the Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an awesome life. All right, signs that you're awakening. Major signs that you're awakening. Number one sign that you're awakening. You would not be watching this video. I'm kidding, sort of. All right. What do I mean by that? You won't question it. But here's what I want to share with you. Awakening isn't always this bing, Eckhart Tolle kind of overnight thing, right? And that wasn't overnight. The guy suffered since he was a child. He wanted to kill himself when he was a kid. He was so unhappy. That's not an overnight awakening. That's I think he was in his early 30s when he awakened. I mean, that's amazing. Why? He suffered terribly till he finally, boom, he was going to kill himself and awaken spontaneously. But not spontaneously, truly. It was just that he went from down here to up here. Your awakening is most likely going to be gradual. Most people's awakening is, you're probably much more awakened than you realize. Because I want you to think of one thing. Think about how you thought and how you acted and what you did even a year ago. Have you improved? Do you feel that you're more compassionate, that you've opened up your beliefs, that you're more caring, that you're putting more attention into the present moment of how you act and behave, and realizing some of the things that you've done that aren't so smart? We've all done stupid stuff, right? And thinking and realizing that you're just human. Have you forgiven yourself? Have you forgiven others? How have you progressed in this last year? Awakening is a gradual process. Now, here are a few signs that this is happening. First of all, yes, look back and ask yourself, were you in your head, your thinking, let's just start with the thinking, were you at this point a year ago, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago? And think about how you acted. Now, I know myself, we've all been in that material world where we thought the material world would solve our problems and that would make us happy. Now, yes, money does give you freedom and some other wonderful things, but it certainly doesn't go into your heart and create that happiness. It's only a temporary material happiness. Same thing with the relationships and everything else. It seems really great at the time, but we know deep down that it's really truly not happiness. And that's why so many times we come into these situations and we sit there and go, wow, I'm not really feeling like how I thought it would, because it wore off, right? The relationship, wow, I thought this was going to solve my problems. Then all of a sudden you're picking on that person or whatever. You know how it starts, right? I can't stand the way you chew your food, right? We all do it, and then you're going, ugh, you know, you go, what happened? Well, you know what? That's not true love. That's short-term excitement, and you might love that person, but true love really surpasses that. True love is so beyond human description. So ask yourself if perhaps you have evolved from a more materialistic way of thinking into one where you actually realized that that's not your answer. I'm going to tell you what, you are awakening because you're on my channel. So a materialistic person, the only reason they'd be on my channel is because they want to manifest something in 3 seconds. By the way, you manifest immediately. The 3 seconds is getting you away from the negative thought. It takes about 3 seconds to go from here and switch over to here. And you think, oh, I'm going to manifest the lottery, I'm going to manifest a car, I'm going to manifest things, and that's all you care about. And I do get that. But the good part is those people are on here too and realize, well, maybe there's something else there. And then hopefully they watch a few and they realize, well, maybe I can be kinder. Maybe the quantum field is picking up on all my selfish, egotistical negativity, and that's why I'm not winning the lottery. And by the way, you can win the lottery on a low frequency. It's not about that. It's about, what do you want to create on this planet? What do you want to contribute? And I think all of you on here want to be something greater than just somebody who gets stuff. I know it. I watch you. I hear your comments. I see the amazing shift that's happening in you. So that tells me right now, number one, you are awakening. Number two, you're expecting something that very few people experience. I did experience a massively huge awakening. I mean, one that was profound, where you're not actually even in your body anymore. You're out here, you're somewhere back here. It's like you're watching everything. You don't even want to talk because you can't even relate to your body. Your spirit, you're so ascended into the quantum field, which you can do. Anybody can do this. It's not like, oh, I'm some, amazing enlightened person. It's just when you let go of all this and you finally just give up and you go, this means absolutely nothing, you finally, then your first energy field, I call it the first energy field, that's your higher self. You're actually back into your higher self and you're functioning more on that level than in here. So you actually are back. I always say back here because that's how I've always experienced it. I heard Eckhart Tolle say that once. I was like, yes, that's what I experience. And that is, you're almost looking down. The room is huge. Everything's huge. I mean, it's like expansive. It's like you are actually connected to everything and you feel it. So when you're not, you're feeling like a human being that's frustrated and you're all in here. When you go into that quantum field, you start to experience that very euphoric feeling of amazing bliss. Nothing can shake you. Nobody can do anything to shake you. Byron Katie, I think she was held up, was it at knife point? I think it was a knife point. If you don't know who Byron Katie is, she has some really cool teachings and she went through a lot. She almost died. She went through a real awakening. And I could tell when somebody speaks if they really are in an awakened state because they're not speaking through their ego. They still have personalities. They have fun. They can go cray-cray and admit that they are human. And that's what she does. But you can tell when she sees and things and thinks about things, it's coming from a completely different level. And this person who held her at knife point, she had no fear. She knows nothing can be destroyed, and she is walking around with such a peace. I think that's what saved her life. She just said, "You don't want to do this," and he didn't. So when you come from fear, of course, you're generating those feelings. When you let that go, and if you're interested in taking my e-course, guys, I'm going to plug this every time. It helps you to release the fear. Breakthrough Fear on LandriaOnka.com, or you can sign up on the Inspiration sign up. It's going to come out here. Gives you information about that and gives you weekly free emails too that gives you tips. I want to just make you aware of what you're still doing that stops you from expanding. Now, there's the second video, the second email you get from me right away is my expansion meditation into the quantum field. I have you actually push out there because I know what that is and I've experienced it. And again, nothing can shake you. No problem. You actually see nothing but the possibilities. You get excited. And you get excited in a way where you're not looking for that to cure you. So, number one, if you were truly enlightened, you would not be, on the maximum level, you would not even open up this video. So that tells me you're on a journey of awakened state and you haven't been spontaneously awakened because you just don't even need to hear this. It's like you have too much time to put it towards something else. All right, so you don't have to have all the answers. Enlightened people don't have the answers. They have an idea of what it is, but they don't know for sure because we're still in human bodies. There's a density to all awakened beings that allows them to admit that they don't have the answers. It's that simple. So the Dalai Lama says, I don't know sometimes. They ask him questions. They think he's got the answers to everything. He goes, I don't know. I don't have the answers to everything. No one truly does. It's just crazy. Think about it. You go to the other side. Jesus, it just keeps going. I got a visitation by a master. This was a dream state. And he was, the first thing I thought is, this can't be the one. This can't be the source. But it appeared to be. It wasn't a light being, it was an actual person, a master, and I thought, this is not a master, this was somebody on a much higher frequency than even a master. And I realized that I was out in the cosmos with him. Of course, they appear in certain ways, depending on what we're creating. And I said, you're not God, are you? I'm like, sort of, I figured this out. I was like, but it appeared to be God-like. And he said, I answer to 12 others above me. Did you say 12? Yeah. In other words, or maybe it was others above me and there were 12 of them. There are others, in other words, he was overseeing the galaxy, portions of the universe, and that he said there are many others above me that I answer to, he said. So in other words, he had his own job. So we have our job here, and here's our little world, and they have their own job overlooking other worlds, and that they have other beings and energies above them that they have to answer to. What? That was a mind blower. I'd never heard that before, and I thought, how can there be? Well, why not? We have different frequencies here. Of course they continue on the other side. So just remember, you're just going up in the frequencies. Don't waste your time here screwing around with, treating each other like crap, thinking bad about somebody else, judging, not liking yourself. Why would you ever doubt yourself? Where's that confidence? Why do you think that you were placed on this earth because you're less than something amazing? I mean, come on. McFly, this is all just a big hologram. So if you believe that you may be awakening, it's because you feel like you're lighter. You feel like you see things different. You have a kindness about you. You're getting tired of being mean or nasty, or you're getting tired of judging people that are mean and nasty. You're tired of blaming the outside world. But my boss, if I hear one more nasty boss story, why don't you treat the boss really sweet and kind and not expect anything back, and that energy you put out is definitely going to affect them. And you just don't know, but who cares? So let them be nasty. That's their pathway. And by the way, that's the test for you. So the other thing too is, are you accepting your challenges as positive tests for change, or do you see them as problems? If you see all of your challenges, all of them, as positive opportunities for change, for you to evolve, you are absolutely on an awakened path. You are going there. Woo, that's a big one. Because the number one thing people do is they see the outside world as a problem, they blame others, they're victims, there's always an obstacle. Oh, I hear this all the time. I'm awakened, but there's this person stopping me and their negative energy. I'm like, you are so not awakened. Holy cow, this negative person that you're complaining about is the challenge for you to say, if I was awakened, I would not see them as a problem. There are no problems. Because everything you think is a problem right now, you created. Why? Because you're trying to evolve. You came here to evolve. What are you going to do with it? You know what happens when you have an amazing life? It's because you don't need them anymore. You don't need more lessons. And every once in a while, one will pop in and go, you need to be more patient. Or, oh, you're still doing a little judgment. Still got a few rules there. You've got, okay, oops, recognize it and go, oh, all right, we got to, boom, get rid of that one. Work through, recognize that is not the problem. I am the person creating a problem. There is not another problem. These are just frequencies out there expressing themselves. They're annoying. I know it. Come on. Some of it's really annoying. So dial it down, all right? So if you see the outside world, people, situations, things as the problem, then you have not gone in here and realized, boom, there, you control that. Yeah, you do. You do. Because that person shows up, is because you allowed it, because you needed it, because you ordered it, because you're on that frequency, and any 100 other reasons why. And it's all energy. So, how are you handling things? How are you feeling? Do you feel like you're more compassionate? Do you feel loved? Are you more patient? Do you feel like the things that bothered you before, they're not such a big deal? Are you less materialistic? Are you okay with letting go of something? I had this gal, she just wrote me this beautiful email and just said she knows she needs to go to a condo, and she had this big house, and then I heard the story, the ego going, I don't really need to, but I know it's the right thing, and you know, and other people, they're moving because they have to, but not me. I'm going because I thought, bull crap, right? Bull crap. You're just trying to tell yourself a story. You don't really want to let go of the house because you think that it's a downgrade if you go to a condo. Welcome to my world. My gosh, I chose this. I chose it. Went from 8,200 square feet to 3,000. Now 3,000 is a pretty big place. I realize that. But it's really small compared to an 8,200 square foot, 7-bedroom, 7.5 bath home with a swim up pool bar and a wine cellar. It was amazing. But it sure didn't make me happy. Didn't need that house. It was too much. Wow, my life simplified. I remember going into another home in a very prestigious neighborhood that was a fraction of the size, and it was the most amazing house. And everybody who walked in that house said, this house is amazing. They didn't say, oh, it's so small compared to their house. They said, wow, this is a cool house. And what I did with it was even more amazing, and it was plenty big for me. Really big. I had guest rooms and everything, okay? But what if you don't have that? What if you have to let go? Can you let go of that and stop telling yourself it's a downgrade? You're creating that. Do you know what most people look at that and go, oh, get rid of it. Jeez, what a burden. Who's that? Prestigious for who? Nobody cares. You know what they care about? The energy of everything. So when people, this home that I recently moved into, it just keeps getting better and better. I'm like, I didn't realize it could get any better than my last home. But I made a decision to switch my energy. When you go into an awakened state, you don't get attached to things. So that's another sign. Are you attached to things, people, situations? Are you? Can you let it go? I'm talking about everything. Can you let it go? So people, if you don't know that I not too long ago lost my entire family, not all at the same time. I got a divorce. No problem with that. Not because it was a negative situation. It was time to move on, right? Okay. And then my mother died a few months after that. Then my dog died, my cousin died, my father died, and then my brother died. All very boom, 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 within months of each other. I handled that so well because people die. Dogs die. And then my cat died. I got really attached to him. So it was a real bummer, but I released it. And so, you know, the thing is that it's easy to get attached. If you find yourself being able to walk away from stuff, especially the material world, and going ahead and moving into a space and still being okay. In fact, probably most of you who are awakened, you're actually going to feel relieved. You'll realize that that was a burden. It was a burden because you were making it into something it wasn't. And that the true, let's just say, awakening for you, that true evolvement of your spirit is to recognize that. And then you go, do you know how much I gave away? Oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe how much I gave away. Like 5 different charities, and then twice I had boxes and boxes and boxes that I put a post out to my neighbors. I said, go. I had like power washers and blowers and microwaves and jewelry and everything. I was giving it away. You know, I felt really good. Really good. I still want to do more of that. I want to minimalize my life because it's not about that stuff. And then you find yourself realizing that the attachment was just this story that you needed it to be happy, and you realize you never were with that. So detachment from the material world, even situations, relationships, and if people die, I'm not saying you can't be sad, but are you struggling with that? Do you struggle with the release of that? You know, do you know, it's controlling your happiness versus missing somebody. You know, that's the experience of being human, is having that loving person in your life that you have to let go. But they're not gone. My parents aren't gone. I don't see my brother very much. I think he's got a lot of work to do over there. He was not very happy with himself. Sweetest guy in the world, though. But my parents have made periodic visits, my dad especially. I'm gonna see him. I mean, I'm gonna die. What do you think? You're not gonna die? So let it go. You can't take it with you, I'll tell you that. In fact, the worst situation, for my opinion, is to be so attached to the material world, because when you go over, that's why a lot of you see these spirits still hanging around. They have not let go of either a trauma, an experience, or material things. People that love a house, this is my house, right? Get out of my house. Get out. They do the easy EVPs. Leave, get out. Okay, I'm not attached to it, you can have it. But that's what happens. And so part of their energy is stuck there until at some point somebody helps release them. And they realize, oh, I wasn't really happy there. It was just like, you know, possessive. So these are a few. There are other ones. Awakening, by the way, all of these physical changes that you're experiencing are not necessarily all awakening symptoms. They're preparing you for it. But if you don't take the action, you don't have to go there. If your DNA gets activated, which mine, I experienced that heavy duty for a few years. Wow, what would wake me up at night? I call them electrical charges. Your body's, you know. And I found out, I spent 2 years trying to figure out what that was. I knew nothing was wrong with me. It didn't hurt. But I'm like, okay, what is this? And so somebody's saying Kundalini awakening. I'm like, I don't know what this is. And finally, I think it was Greg Braden or somebody, I found out that our DNA, which is not being used at all, just like most of our brain isn't, it's there because at some point when we can act like responsible human beings, it gets activated. So you're not going to be able to use it unless you become the responsible human being. This is what I believe. I believe it will be activated when you hit a certain frequency and you're ready. You're ready because now you have powers that are activated within the human body. So the symptoms that you are experiencing from that DNA and, you know, spiritual involvement, that activation, sometimes is so powerful that it can cause physical symptoms like high blood pressure and heart palpitations and stuff like that. I had all of that stuff. By the way, I started taking zinc and magnesium and it's gone. It's gone. You know, sometimes you have to, your body's, you know, you have to shift and make sure you eat right, do all these things. So I want to share that with you because so many of you are awakening. You think it's supposed to be some dramatic thing, and it's not. It's not. And when you realize awakened people don't walk around like, you know, nuns. I mean, even nuns are more exciting, right? You know, ooh, yes, my child. Bless you. Geez, would that be boring if you came on my channels like that? Now, it's cool that there's some people like that. But I think the new age, and I don't like to use that term because I think it labels us. I don't like labels. But the new age of thinking, to me, it's a global thing. The new age of a higher frequency, and that means that we're not all going to act like, you know, these, like I said, holier than thou kind of people. The new awakened person can laugh loud, be silly, have a glass of wine. You know, Eckhart Tolle has a glass of wine once in a while. Drink coffee. He drinks Starbucks. You know, people say, oh, you're having a glass of wine. Really? Christ used to. Well, we have all these rules from religion and stuff. There are no rules. There are no rules. You know what the rule? There's a rule. The rule is there are no rules. Okay. I'm on the no plan. That's from Along Came Polly. Very funny movie. Yeah, you're on a plan. You're on the no plan. So I want you to realize that you can have fun. You can be silly. You can have a cocktail once in a while. You can do all kinds of things. And, you know, maybe even a burger once in a while if you really feel you need to do that. And still be an awakened person. Now, I'm not encouraging that. But what I'm trying to tell you is if you're awakened, you usually don't want to do most of those things. At least not, on an abusive level where it's taking control of your life. So you don't lose your personality. You don't lose your drive to achieve things. Your goals are just different and you're happier. You're happier. So the number one thing I'd say is when things stop bothering you, welcome, you're awakened. You're awakened. And if you're getting closer to that, you're awakened. Keep going. Recognize that. Ooh, why am I allowing this to bother me? Am I attached to things? Am I attached to the material? Does it bother me to lose things? Can you hand something over really valuable? Could you do it right now? You wouldn't believe what I was giving away. I thought, why? Why do I? You know, and I had some of it. It's like it felt like I was supposed to hang on to it. And I thought, I don't care about this stuff. It has no meaning to me at all. Zero. Right? So somebody would be very disappointed if they came in here to get stuff from me because I don't have it. I just don't need it anymore. I got rid of it. So I hope this helps. I'm going to have more of these videos about the signs of awakening, but I'm going to tell you those are the major ones for you to think about and ask yourself if this is you. And if you can start to raise your frequency by letting go of all of these things that you're attached to, including how things should be. This is how this is how people should think and act. This is, you know, I'm from here, so everybody else has to think and act like me, or they have to have the same religion I do, or same this and that. Bull crap, get over yourself, all right? That's the ego. You're done with listening to the ego. That's not who you are. You're not that. So let's stop listening to blah, 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 all right? You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Oh, I have to bring the ego out. Hacker T. I'm going to do some Hacker T videos. If you guys don't know who Hacker T is, you'll get to meet him in upcoming ego videos. He's the cute ego that sits here and talks. All right, namaste, blessings, light, and love to you, my friend.